Peace and blessings, loved ones. Peace and blessings. I'm on break. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to share with you guys about the meeting. First and foremost, I want to tell you guys that I'm so godly proud of you guys and so pleased with you guys for the sacrifices that you've been making to make it to the meeting. I know you have a world of other things that you can be doing. So I value your time, I value your sacrifice, and I appreciate you. I love you. Second thing I want to say is I believe all the meetings have been blessed. You know, sometimes it can feel like, okay, what are we really doing? But what we're really doing is building the team. And sometimes it's going to be a little rocky, but we are going to be the team that God desires for us to be. I believe that. I believe in every single one of you. I believe in what you bring to the table. Otherwise, I personally wouldn't have asked you. You all are amazing. And I just appreciate your dedication, your sacrifice, and your time, your wisdom, and the gifts that you bring to the table. Everybody. The Lord really was dealing with me about last meeting. So I wanted to share some things, and hopefully it'll give us a clear step-by-step thing. The devil is a lie because all the notes I took, now I can't find them. But I'm just going to go off the top. So we discuss obviously a suicide ministry or organization or some type of resource to help people in the community. We talked primarily about children, but we talked about not leaving it to just children, but leaving it wide open to adults or whoever was dealing with depression and suicide. So, Sister Evie, you did a wonderful job. You took notes, you studied, and I really appreciated you. I seen your little type out, and maybe you can give me that. She had a lot of great things to say. She talked about providing healing and deliverance. She talked about providing healing and deliverance. We talking about praying for them and delivering them from evil spirits that tell them to commit suicide. And she also talked about having Christian counselors that we trust and believe in. That could be, something else that we can make available, Christian counseling. She also talked about identity, helping people build their identity. And I'm paraphrasing because I don't have my notes. And she also talked about we provide resources to the school. Maybe it's through PTA or different ways we could provide to the school, provide to the community. Then it opens the door for us to really help people in this area get healed and delivered. And Brother Jamal, he believe he spoke next. He shared about being able to diagnose different forms of pride and not pride, different forms of suicide and having a different approach to each form. Apostle Christian, he spoke about positive words of affirmation and celebrating every victory and celebrating everything that they complete. And he gave a lot of wisdom from his experience, in the military and different things that he faced doing that on the job. And Matt, he shared, Nikki, she shared, and theirs was kind of similar. Nikki talked about, after we help people, what do we do? What's the next step? It has to be some form of discipleship. There has to be some form of mentoring. And she spoke from her experience of working with the community that she now lives in. There has to be some form of mentoring. And Matt also honed in on that same point, like, the mentoring. Is it some way for us to develop a mentoring aspect to this, helping people with suicide? And Brother Kenny, he spoke about the identity. He also shared about a couple other ministries that we can also connect with that are doing a similar type of work, working with children with trauma and different things that they go through in life, the trauma, the hurts, the pains, and helping them heal internally from it. So he suggested that we connect with some of these other ministries that are doing the same work. And I had a lot of stuff to say too as well. I talked about positive affirmations and declarations. I talked about teaching men and women, boys and girls, practical life skills that help them develop as a man and as a woman, because a lot of times we feel like we're failing in different areas. I talked about teaching the girls home ec and stuff like that, and maybe have classes on beauty and makeup and dressing up and stuff like that. And for the men, I talked about basketball. I mean, not basketball. I talked about boxing, and I talked about martial arts, just to build courage, to build confidence in them. Deliver them from the fear of man. All these things connect to depression and stuff like that. And I also talked about the workshop that I'm doing on Saturday. The workshop on finding your passions and desires, because we all kind of recognize a lot of people feel depressed and want to commit suicide because they feel like they can't function in this world. And that's generally everything that we talked about. I wish I had my notes in front of me so I could repeat. But one of the other things I wanted to share was something that my wife shared with me, which was a blessing. And she took some notes too. And her notes, she said, we should all be familiar with National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. She has the number here. We should all be familiar with that, she said. The next note she had was the American Association of Suicidology is a charitable nonprofit membership organization that offers a host of suicidal prevention recorded webinar trainings. So she encouraged that we get trainings. The example of the trainings is bullying and suicide. It's like a $25 course. Then you can get crisis worker certification training. She said this webinar is designed to help prepare you for the AAS Crisis Worker Certification exam and is optional. Completing this webinar does not lead to certification. You must send in an application and take the Crisis Worker exam in order to become certified. So you could become certified crisis worker, and it says the non-member fee is $25, so it's not that expensive. She said there's also the potential to become a lifeline crisis center. Crisis centers seeking to join the Lifeline network must be certified, accredited, or licensed by an external body. And I just thought that was just great wisdom, because it kind of embodied a way where we can present everything as a resource. If what we're building is a crisis center itself, certified, we've been trained. I just thought it was amazing. So we talked about the name, we talked about the well, and Apostle Christian talked about Rehoboth. So when I went back and prayed, I know I was ranting a little bit that day, but I'm just passionate about it. I'm just passionate about what God want to do, and I got high standards for everybody, every one of you, because you're more than capable of this and more. It's nothing that it's nothing that we can't accomplish for the Lord. Like, we are such a strong team. Like, if any assignment God give us, we're gonna be able to accomplish it. So that's how I see it. I'm saying I don't expect nothing less but the best from each and every one of you, because you're more than capable of it. You know what I'm saying? You're more than capable. Y'all all powerful. So, I went back and prayed on it. I was praying, and the Lord, he rebuked me about some things personally. And he was just saying, that it's going to take time. It might take a little time to build up our team. And I'm just researching different wisdom about that. But one of the things he said was that, you ready? One of the things he said was that it's time to go in, right? One of the things that he told me was that, when I was praying in the morning, was that, he does want the suicide aspect of the ministry to be his own nonprofit. So he was like, that we should go forth with the ideas that you guys said about making it a nonprofit. You know what I'm saying? Making its own nonprofit. So I say, amen, Lord, whatever you want. So, then he says, separate everybody in teams. So there should be a mentoring aspect developed in it. And then obviously we need to set up the nonprofit aspect, and seeing as, Nick, Jamal and Matt, they had a conviction about the mentoring part of it. It's only right. The Lord said, put y'all three be in a team, and focus on developing the mentoring part of it. And then he said put Kenny, Evie, and Apostle Christian to build up the nonprofit aspect of it. So if y'all at peace with that, amen. If not, you can let me know. We could just pray and ask the Lord. But that's just basically what he told me. And you know, any assignment that you get, if you need help or you feel like you're stuck, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to another person, another member. You know what I'm saying? Or anything like that. Regina, Marquita, Asia. I know y'all wasn't present at the last meeting, but if you want to find your way contributing in the nonprofit, developing the nonprofit aspect of it or the mentoring aspect of it, feel free to hop on one of those teams. But that's just what the Lord instructed me at this time. And instead of just calling it the well and arguing with everybody of who's going to own the well, why don't we just call it the well at Rehoboth? Or the Rehoboth well. I like the well at Rehoboth. But y'all can let me know what y'all think. That's the end of this video. Any questions, just get back to me, let me know. Peace and blessings.